Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit Podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dami, also known as damisdoodles. Word.
And we're glad to have you. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of May, 2016, and this is episode 192.
8 more weeks.
Yes.
Till 200. Could we go to the beach for our 200th episode?
Possibly. We'll have to check the weather. That'd be awesome.
We could get ice cream at the beach. And I could take Odo to his promenade.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I'm gonna print out a little thing of Odo.
You're gonna make a paper Odo.
A paper Odo and take him to his beach promenade.
Okay.
So he can watch over it.
She's referencing Star Trek Deep Space Nine, if you don't know. And we would like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys.
Love you.
That is
I'm
like
knitting.
The weirdest shaped heart ever.
I'm knitting.
And a big hiya. Hello, we're glad to have you if this is your first time watching. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dami, we have some new people who introduced themselves in the Ravelry group this week. Why don't you give them a shout out?
Okay. Carolyn, who is Knittin' Nana 68 from Arizona. Tammy, who is Ta Leader from New Jersey. Marjolaine, who is Marjobreen. I hope I'm saying the EI sounds right, from the Netherlands. Kayla, who is Dharma Punkset from Alberta, Canada. Kim, who is Cosmic from New Zealand. And Anna, who is Amethyst Anna from Sweden.
And we Googled it. Amethyst is amethyst in Swedish. And so I'm wondering if Anna's birthstone is the amethyst.
Why don't you tell us?
We would love to know that, Anna. You could tell us in the episode thread. So welcome. We're so glad to have you guys. Thanks for introducing yourselves. So if somebody is not a member of the Ravelry group, what should they do and why?
You should join and introduce yourself in our introductions thread, because we will give you a shout out on our next episode, and you will be able to participate in our cows and giveaways.
Yes. Well, we have a lot of stuff to talk about today, including a special guest in the Ask the Geeky Girls segment. And we actually already recorded that part. So we're time traveling again. Yeah, so we probably should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on our needles.
So what's on your needles, Dami? You no longer monogamous knitter, you?
It's your fault, you're a bad influence. So, you're a bad influence when it comes to knitting.
I have failed.
So this is Noah's solar system, and Noah is my little friend who's going to turn 5 this July, and he really likes space. So I'm making him a little
Final
miniature
frontier.
solar system with the 5 dwarf planets, Earth's moon, and 8 planets. 8 planets. Okay, I don't remember what all I had finished last week. I think I had finished the moon. I was working on Mercury, but I'm not sure, so I'll just show that you all them again. This is the Dwarf Planet series. This is the Dwarf Planet Haumea. It's supposed to be oblong. This is the Dwarf Planet Maki Maki. It's pink.
I love the name of that one. And it's pink, so.
This is the Dwarf Planet Pluto. This is the Dwarf Planet Aries. This is the moon with a really long tail, so I can attach it to Earth. And here is Mercury. And so these patterns, all of them except for one, are the Stockinette Short Row Sphere pattern by Brent Annable, and Haumea is the Spheroid and Oblong pattern by Alison Griffith. I'm on US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters with a whole variety of yarn. I don't know what a lot of it is. It was just leftovers that people have given me. So.
Okay. So how many more things do you have to knit for him?
Let's see. 8 planets plus 5 dwarf planets. That's 13. So 14 things total, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have halfway.
You're halfway there.
I'm halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
Although that doesn't really take into account the size of all the
No,
other
the
things.
sun. You forgot the sun.
And the sun. I have 15 things.
So you're almost halfway there.
Woo!
but you're going from the smallest to the largest.
The sun is going to be really big.
Okay.
If this is how big Mercury is, Mercury, the smallest planet, just imagine how big the sun is going to be. Yep. I'm casting on 50 stitches for the sun. It's going to be really big.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but you have taken a wee break from that because...
Oh, I was going to talk about Indie Bird Yarn Crawl.
Oh, okay.
I'm also working on the Indie Bird Yarn Crawl 2016 socks. They're on US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters, and some of Ginger's hand dyed, but I can't show you it. It's not even in the room because I can't show you the yarn or the pattern because this is still a secret.
But it's going very well.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and then you took a hiatus from the planets because...
Because it's one of my friend's birthdays in like a week and a half, and I didn't know this. So I was like, I should make her something. So this is my hat for Lindsay. It's the Barley by Tin Can Knits. It's on US 6's 4 mils and US 8's 5 mils. And the yarn is Nerd Girl Yarn Stomp and Bounce in the I've Got a Talking Computer and a Robot Dog colorway.
So it's Sarah Jane inspired.
Yes, and it's fingering weight. It's sock yarn. So I'm holding it doubled. And I'm almost to the 9 inches I'm going to before I start the decreases because she likes slouchy beanies.
Okay, so why don't you hold it close so they can see the yarn?
Ta-da! So it's red and with a little bit of purple.
Turn it around because it's easier to see the different colors on the back where there's not the texture.
A little bit of white.
It's very pretty.
Ta-da!
It's lovely. For lovely Lindsay.
Yeah, we were playing a name game once in drama. It was like one of the first ones of the term. And so we do name games then, and we had to think of an adjective that started with the first letter of our name. And hers was Lovely Lindsay.
What was yours?
I think mine that time was Daring, Dammy.
Yes, should be Dynamic, Dammy.
Oh.
Are you knitting anything else?
No.
Okay.
So what are you knitting?
I'm knitting
Too many things?
So many things because Stash Dash, is coming and... Sorry, I'm trying to get my bags over here because they're all stuck on the chair. I have 5 things to show you. Can I put this right here so that I don't drop it?
Sure.
Okay. So first up is my zigzag blanket, which is the 10 stitch zigzag pattern by Frankie Brown. And I'm using US 4's 3.5 mil needles. And I'm still doing the Knitting Goddess mini skein set. So I am on the last color. And I think I'm probably going to run out. But I have another mini skein that I'm going to use if that happens. So I am going to make a goal of doing 5 stripes on it during Stash Dash. So I want to get to the end of a stripe so that I can, have a start on a new one for Stash Dash. Yep. And then I am working on birthday socks for our friend Jeremy. This is from my French Vanilla Cappuccino Socks pattern, which is in my Coffee with Cece book, or you can get it on Ravelry. I'm on US 1.5 2.5 mil needles, and the yarn is Lang Yarns Jawal Color Superwash, in the most super exciting name ever.
But
902.0020.
Wow.
I know.
That's almost like 90210.
It is almost like 90210. And I finished the first sock. And yes, it really is that big. Do you see how big the foot is? Is that insanity? And so the leg looks really short, but it's not. It's the same height as what I did for the Hub's birthday socks. Just in comparison to the foot. So the first one's finished. And I'm working on the second one. And I actually am getting pretty close to where I need to start the heel. Oh wait, I should do it this way.
It's going to be lots of yardage for Stash Dash.
It is, because I'm going to go until like...
You're going to use almost all of that skein.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just have that much to go until that... Yeah, Dammy caked it up for me after I finished the first one because the yarn skein kind of barfed. This is how much yarn I have left.
You were like going to use all of that skein.
Yeah, I'm going to use most of it probably. So I'm working on that. I'm hoping to have it ready for Stash Dash hiatus next week. Because I am getting a lot done on this because I knit on it during my contract job. Because it's mindless round and round in circles. So since I had put into Stash Dash hiatus last week the Fashion Week socks that I was knitting for me, I have cast on a new pair of socks for me.
Another one.
And I've actually finished the first sock because I finished it last night while I was with my book club friends watching the Eurovision semifinals round 1. So this is also from my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern. I'm on US 1.5 2.5 mil needles. So the yarn is, so the toe, heel, and cuff is the Knitting in France Sparkles in the Gradient Pink colorway, which was from my Strawberries and Cream Frappe pattern. And the main color of the sock is Pandia's Jewels hand-dyed yarn and fiber snug in the Also I Can Kill You With My Brain colorway, which is from my Firefly kit that I did with her. So thusly, the name of the socks are Strawberries and Brain socks. I felt
Zombies love strawberry frappuccinos.
Yeah, so the first one is done, and
It's frappuccino season at Starbucks.
I have cast on the second one. I'm not quite done with the toe because I got distracted holding a wee 6-week-old baby.
Who's not really that wee, you told me.
No, he's not. He looks more like 3 months or so. But that was fun. And then I'm going to do these out of order. So I have the, I'm knitting the Rock Hopper by Anna Maltz from the Penguin book that we reviewed. I'm on US 7's 4.5 mil needles, and I'm using Blacker Yarns Tamar DK in the Red River colorway, Kettle Yarn Co. Baskerville in the Dust colorway, and Bahram Mutitis in the Crucible colorway. And it is now into Stash Dash hiatus because I only have a couple of rows to go. So, you gonna help me hold this up?
Sure.
We're not gonna be able to fit the whole thing in, but
Let me get it there.
yeah, it's ginormous and it has not been blocked yet. So it's huge. Brit Yarn came to my rescue because I ran out of the Blacker Yarns Tamar DK. You can put your arm down now. I had to get a second skein. So yeah, stash acquisition and
Acquisition, you sound like a Ferengi.
yeah. So her website is brityarn.co.uk. And she's so sweet. She sent me a little pink stitch marker with a purple bead on it because she knows I love pink. I also, you might have seen it. I don't know if I posted it on Instagram. I also got from her, since I was already placing the order, the a skein of Worcestershire spinners for a Patreon reward.
Mm-hmm.
So now the Rock Hopper has gone into Stash Dash hiatus, so that I can finish it afterwards, or once Stash Dash starts, because it's a lot of yardage. So since I had finished that shawl, I decided to cast on a new shawl because, yeah. So I am.
Shawls are your new socks, I'm sensing.
I love shawls, even though I don't wear them a ton. I still love to knit them. They're fabulous. So I have cast on The Unicorn Party by Kathleen Dames. I'm on US 6's 4 mil needles. I am using this amazing yarn. This is Chopped Ginger Wool Project Teeswater Fingering in the natural colorway. And then there it is. I was trying to find the third one. So the most of the shawl is going to be in that natural colorway, but then you use 3 colorways on the edge of the shawl to make it be a fun party. So I am going to be using, they became unwound. And so
she took my mini skeins.
well, some of them were mine that I had given you, but you let me take them because
No.
they were, because the Knitwear girl sent some to you and some to me. And I put them all in your thing, but then I was like, hey, do you have enough of something that so I don't have to buy more mini skeins?
Oh.
I
thought they were all just sent to me. Those colors.
Do you want them back?
No, you're using them.
I will give them to you and buy some if I need
No.
to. Okay. So I'm going to use, this is Knit Circus Aerialist Fingering in the Blue Skies Ahead colorway. This is Knit Circus Greatest of Ease in the Raspberry Rhapsody colorway. And this is Knit Circus Pixie Dust Fingering in the Holly Leaves colorway. So those 3 colors will be on the edge of the shawl. And this is how much I have knit thus far. And it is so squishy. Can you see? I don't know if you can see the fuzz. I mean, like, because it's a really woolly texture. Yeah, you can kind of see it, the halo of it. It is so squishy. And it smells sheepy.
I don't want to smell your sheep. I'm sorry.
In a good way. Not like a stinky way. In a good way. Oh, it's fabulous. So I have cast that on and am knitting what I am affectionately calling 8-note party, like a unicorn party shawl. Because you know we like to give fun names to our projects. And that is everything that is on the needles. The unicorn party did not want to be with the other projects. It wanted to be by itself on the floor. So, while we're talking about Stash Dash hiatus.
I'm not doing Stash Dash.
That's fine. You don't have to. You can cheer me on.
You're gonna get all your yardage just by finishing the ones you put in hiatus.
No, because I think I'm going to go for the 7K. So I made a page in my bullet journal this week for my Stash Dash tracking. And I wrote down the 3 projects thus far that are in hiatus. So the Rock Hopper, my Fashion Week socks, and the Insanely Bright Contour shawl. So between those 3, 5 stripes on my blanket, the Strawberries and Brain socks, Jeremy's socks, the Unicorn Party, and the Pearly Pullover that I'm doing with Kathleen Dames, the Sweater Podcast. That should get me over 5K meters just with those. So I think I'm going to shoot for the 7K because that doesn't include preemie hats. That doesn't include Noah's birthday socks. I'm sure I will cast on another pair of socks for me. So I think I think 7K is totally doable. And we have a lovely chatter thread in our Ravelry group for Stash Dash, and I'm loving hearing what everybody's goals are thus far. So if you want more information about Stash Dash, you can go to that thread in our Ravelry group, or the Knit Girls are the ones that are hosting it, and they have a thread in their group as well. All right, well, I think that is everything for this segment, so we should probably move on.
And now we are going to talk about our finished projects.
Because you have one this week.
I finished something. I started this on Friday and finished it on Saturday. This is a tiny football. The pattern I used was a heavily modified version of Football by Cheryl Fisher. It's on US 1.5, 2.5 millimeters, and I don't know what the yarn is. I made this as a birthday present for my dad.
It's very cute.
Yes.
I tried to give it to one of his Yodas to play with.
Catch.
I'm not good at sports, and so that was like a big deal. You missed. Let's try again.
You threw it. You're just throwing it into my lap. You can juggle it.
Would you like to talk about anything else?
It's about the same size as Halmea.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I finished this week's preemie hat. This is number 19 for the year. It's from my free top-down preemie hat pattern on Ravelry. I did this on US 6s, 4mm needles, and the yarn is Patton's UK Fab DK Variegated in another very exciting colorway, 2326.
Ah.
And I picked this because the hub's birthday was Sunday, and I knit the preemie hats on Sundays. And his favorite color is red, but he also loves Superman. And so I staged the hat with one of his Lego Superman keychain thing when I took the pictures. So I think it's really cute. So number 19 for the year. Yay. And that's everything I finished because everything is going into Stash Dash hiatus. Otherwise, I'd have lots of FOs. The week following Stash Dash beginning, I'm probably going to have 30 gazillion FOs. Not really, probably like 4, but still, that's a lot. All right, well, we have a lot to talk about in the next segment, so we should move on. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show.
You should scroll.
Yummies. What are yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So first up, I got a lovely post. My friend Rochelle made this card. Isn't it beautiful? She was doing a thing in April where she created a card every day and then posted it to someone. She also, and look, she stamped the envelope. Isn't that fun? And then she also sent 2 of the cards that she had made that we can color. So they're from Alice in Wonderland. I think I'm going to color the rabbit. So Dammy, I think I'll color the tea party. And then we'll have to post them on Instagram to show Rochelle. So I got that in the post, and that was lovely. I feel uber successful because I have finally gotten my hands on something that I have long desired.
But what have you long desired?
I have long desired a pop vinyl river song from Doctor Who.
Hair is so curly.
Yep. And she has her gun. And she's got her sonic screwdriver in her belt.
She does.
Mm-hmm. You see it tucked in there? Here's the box that she came in. She now lives on my desk.
Can you see it?
Yes.
I'll trade you.
Her head does move, see?
The little Sarah Jane is so cute. She's got overalls.
Aww.
Yeah, that was the fashion in the 70s.
I like
Stripy overalls.
I like Captain Jax with his vortex manipulator.
Yeah.
And we should
What
get
is Sarah holding? I don't know. It's not a cell phone. Those didn't exist in the 70s.
we should get Daddy the 9th Doctor with the banana.
Yeah.
9 is his favorite.
Don't tell him though.
Look. Okay. So, yes. River Song has come to live with me, and she lives on my desk, and we are very happy friends together because I love River a lot. So we got a parcel in the post today with some very special yarn in it. Shh, it's a secret. I'm doing a Gilmore Girls pattern. I know. With Boga of Knitting in France and Sam of Knit Run Dig Project Bags. And we're very excited because it's lovely self-striping yarn. And so the yarn arrived today, and I'm very excited to get it started knitting it up. But she also sent us some stitch markers. Which ones are you keeping first?
These ones.
Okay, show those ones.
They're like little sand dollars, but they have hearts in
They're
the
really
middle.
cute. And then she sent 3 other packages that we're going to use for prizes for the summertime in the Live In As Easy Cal.
So I'm assuming these are blue tulips. Tulips.
There is apples.
And pink pastries of some sort. We think they're Pop-Tarts.
Yes. So thank you so much to Boga for sending those.
Oh, I have one of Boga's stitch markers right here. It's white chocolate. It's
Oh, it is.
sparkly.
You should show it.
It's sparkly white chocolate.
Lovely. So yeah. So thank you, Boga. We will put those with the summertime prizes, and y'all might win. Boga has lovely, lovely yarn and stuff. You should check her out. She is linked in the show notes. So I did a podcast interview with Tara Swiger of Explore Your Enthusiasm podcast. And Tara is one of our teachers for the Geeky Puffin Palooza. And so this podcast interview just went live today. Dammy and I listened to it during lunch.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think?
I liked it.
There's lots of very random things. So Tara is, she works with creative businesses. So it's not a knitting podcast per se. We did talk about knitting, but we talked about like my business journey and how the podcast came about, how I got started designing, how the retreat came about, and things like that. So if that's something you'd like to, you'd be interested in listening to, it's an audio podcast. I've put a link to that in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got something in the post that I have been waiting for that I'm super excited about. This came from the Curious Owl Shop on Ravelry, original fine jewelry by Christine Levis.
Is it Levis or Levi's?
It could be that. I don't know. It's not focusing. There, that's better. I'll put a link in the show notes. But, so, you guys know I love pink.
No. What? What is this?
I want to tell them the funny story about pink hair in a minute. Remind me.
Oh, I know what you're going to tell
Okay.
me.
My birthstone is the opal.
So is mine, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
October. We both have birthdays in October. My great-grandmother's name was also Opal, and she was a very big influence in my crafting life. I actually still have a pair of her craft scissors that
They're really old ones from JCPenney's.
yes, that are beautifully silver scissors, and they are only for cutting yarn. They are not to cut paper.
They say pennies on them.
Yeah.
With an E.
Yes, they do. So opal is important to me. So I have always wanted a pink opal ring. And so as part of my Coffee with CC book has done amazing, I used some of that money and got this beautiful ring. So it's a pink opal on a brushed silver band. But look how the opal is in there. I don't know if you can see that. I really, really love the way. So this was custom made for me by Christine. And it just arrived yesterday after taking a wee bit of a journey in the post and getting a little bit lost. It found its way to me. So I am now wearing that and I am in love with it. So you should check out her shop. Now let me tell them the funny pink hair story.
Okay.
So I was at Starbucks on Monday afternoon, as one does, and was doing some journaling and some such, and I had headphones in, listening to some instrumental music, and this couple sat at the table next to me, and he was probably like in his 60s, and she was probably in her 50s, and they interrupted me twice to talk about my hair. The first time, he was like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have pink hair, and oh my gosh, do you really love pink? And of course, I had like on my pink tennis shoes, and I had my iPad with the keyboard, so it's the pink case, and I had my coffee thing with the pink lid, and so obviously I had lots of pink. And so we talked for just a few minutes. It was just funny. And so then I went back to doing what I was doing. And about 10 minutes later, he interrupted me again. He was like, I'm so sorry. We've been sitting here talking about your hair this entire time. Her daughter, the lady who was at the table, her daughter wants super bright purple hair. They had done a little bit, but it didn't last very long. And so as she took notes, I walked her through the process of how I pinked my hair. And it was really funny that they were so seriously like talking about it and like, oh, that makes sense. Why didn't we think to do this? It was just really funny. I don't know if I came across funny, but it was really humorous that this couple wanted to talk to me about how I do my hair. I hope it was successful for them when they purpled her daughter's hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of hair, I did braids.
You did?
They're French.
They're called plaits here. Plaits.
I did braids.
So are you growing out your hair?
A little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
It's uneven. It's longer on this side than on this side when I parted it in the middle because it's kind of layered and that kind of annoys me.
Well, it's because of the haircut that you told them you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you given up on the spirally curly things? Or are you just
No.
trying something different?
I'm just trying something different.
Okay. All right. Do we have anything else for Yummies other than our normal stuff?
No.
All right. Well, then let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. Why don't you tell us what it is while I get a drink of water?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. So we have a list of prompts for each month. So you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. So May's list is a combination of emotions. Today's love. Shapes. And miscellaneous other things. So we are about to show them what?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. So those were our favorites. Great job, everybody.
I am living up to my username. I posted a doodle.
Which we will talk about in more detail in the next segment.
I'm planning to post more in the summer, maybe. Hopefully.
Of your doodles.
Yeah.
So it's never too late to participate. Just take a look at the list, at the prompt for the day. Take a photo. Post it to Instagram. Make sure you hashtag it GGK Crafty Pad because that's how we find your photos. And yours might get picked. Yep. When I posted it onto the social medias today, I used music from Eurovision. I feel like I should tell them what Eurovision is because we didn't...
I think most people know what Eurovision is. I knew what Eurovision is.
Well, I've talked to a few people in the last few days and they did not know what Eurovision is.
Oh.
Eurovision is a singing contest. That
About Europe's vision for the future.
Yes. The European vision for peace through music. And so countries send a musical act. Some countries are like uber serious about it. Like one country has like 10 rounds that you have to go through to be picked to be their entrant. Mm-hmm. And other countries are not. And the acts range from super serious to super ridiculous. So there are so many countries that they do 2 days of semifinals, 18 countries in each one, and then 10 from each of those, each of the semifinals, plus the 5 countries who pay millions of pounds to get an automatic entry into the finals, the UK being one of them, will compete on Saturday. Apparently it is airing in the US for the first time.
Oh.
I know one of our viewers who rearranged things to make sure she was home to see it.
Was it Kate?
Yes, it was Librarian Kate.
Yeah.
What's her numbers?
7578.
Yes. So, so I go to a book club now on Tuesday nights, but we kind of alternate between like discussing a book one week or discussing portions of a book one week. And then the off week is just kind of a get together. And so we decided to have a Eurovision semifinals party last night. And we rooted for a country and my country did not make it through.
Oh, poor Estonia.
I know. I think the most ridiculous one, well, I didn't tell you about the other one. So one of them was part cello, part rap, part kind of folk song. And the other ridiculous one was this older gentleman doing a spoken word song performance surrounded by like Bond girls dancing. There's a rule you can only have 6 people on stage. So there was 5 Bond girls that were noticeably like 40 years younger than him as he did his spoken word song.
What was the spoken word song about?
Love.
Oh.
As one does.
I remember like last year or the year before, there was one country. It was this guy. He was playing piano. Then his piano was on fire.
Yeah.
I remember that one. Can't remember what country it was.
I don't either.
I want to say it was Russia. It's always Russia doing ridiculous things.
Russia was actually really good. In fact, Russia is the one that I picked to do the music for social media. Oh. So I'm now feeling like, since I have watched the first semifinals, that I need to watch the second ones and the finals. We can vote in the second semifinals. So the big 5 countries, they split them up so that, like the UK could not vote last night, but we can vote tomorrow night.
The UK never wins.
No. The UK, I don't believe, is very serious about it. It's just like
Even
they send
though
someone.
They pay millions of pounds
Yes.
to get into the semifinals.
Yes. No, into the finals.
Into the finals. Oh.
Yes. Yes.
And they never win. Neither does France, I think. I
don't know. That is the extent of my knowledge, and if I said anything incorrect, it's all my fault. It is nobody else's fault, because that's the way I understood it. Disclaimer. Okay. How did we get to this? We're supposed to be talking about upcoming events we're going to be attending.
One time I think Sweden sent people who churned butter on stage.
It was in Sweden this year because Sweden won last year. So whichever country wins, they host it.
Did Sweden churn butter last year? I want to say that they
No,
did.
he did not churn butter. It was a guy.
No, last year.
Last year. He's the one that won last year.
Oh.
He sang a song called Hero, which he performed again last night.
Might have been the year before. I don't remember. Someone churned butter at some point.
While singing was going on?
Yep.
Should we talk about upcoming events we'll be attending now?
Sure.
I don't remember which ones you talk about and which ones I talk about.
I'll talk about the first one.
Okay.
So the Indieburgh Yarn Crawl 2016, the 3rd annual one, is going to be on Saturday, the 11th of June, here in Edinburgh.
There has been a change of location for the pop-up market, though. It's no longer going to be at Ocean Terminal. It is now going to be at the Safari Lounge in the basement. So if you have any disability, it's not handicap accessible. I will do the stairs. I will walk down the stairs to do it and won't walk back up until we're done.
Yeah.
Because I can handle that, but I couldn't handle up and down. So, I can't remember. I want to say that the pop-up market is from like 12:30 to 6. Check on the website. The link for that is in the show notes. And I will have my books. I will have the Indieburgh Yarn Crawl 2016 pattern. I'm actually thinking about maybe offering all 3 of the Indieburgh Yarn Crawl patterns as a set for a little discount. So you could get all 3 patterns. So it's just, I'll just have a table, so I won't have everything with me. But I probably will bring the books and the Yarn Crawl patterns. And potentially the Outlander patterns, because the Outlander pattern, I believe, will be out by then.
Ooh.
The new cow.
It'll be Outlander.
All right. Am I talking about the next one?
Sure.
Okay. The Yarnporium, which is going to be in London on Saturday and Sunday, the 5th and 6th of November. This is hosted by Yarn in the City, and I potentially will be vending. I don't know. We will see what happens. But we do plan to attend it. Regardless. And then, do you talk about the next one, or do I?
You.
Okay. And then, the week following the Yarnporium, which is, craziness, is the Geeky Puff and Knit Palooza, which we are co-hosting with our friend Sam in Farnham, England, UK, from Thursday the 10th of November through Sunday the 13th of November. You can sign up at
geekypuffinknitpalooza.com.
you can sign up both to attend the retreat and to vend at the vendor market. We have got quite a list of vendors. We've had some new vendors sign up that I forgot to tell you.
Oh.
I will show you those later. And we are starting the big knit along. It starts the 1st of June, so we would love to have you participate in that. So you need to sign up before then if you want to be in on that from the start.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, I think that's everything for Yummies, so let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we're reading and watching.
So what are you reading?
I am still reading Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I am 84% through it.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm in chapter 40 of 49.
Great.
And I did some thinking, because I found a thread on Ravelry in the Jane Austen group about what the Jane Austen characters would do if they were on Ravelry. And so I did some thinking. Well, if the March sisters were on Ravelry, what would they knit? And so if you like Little Women, tell me what you think about this. Okay, I think Beth has knit lots of like iPod cozies and almost every doll pattern in existence.
Okay.
And things for her cats, like blankets and the
Toys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Jo never ever finishes a project ever. She has like dozens of projects she just abandoned halfway through.
Okay.
And I think Meg and Amy like to knit lace,
Okay.
but I think, and I think Amy too likes to knit like art-inspired patterns. She really likes the Van Gogh yarn, you know, the one I'm talking about. So,
Okay.
do you think that's an accurate assessment of the March sisters?
I'm gonna
Tell me in the episode thread. Tell me what you think.
I'm going to put myself a note here.
To put it in the episode thread
Yes.
post.
The March sisters knit. Oops, I put an extra I in knit.
What would the March sisters knitty?
I'm gonna make it a color so that I don't miss it. There we go. Okay. Well, that's great. Well, you have embarked on something that we are having a lot of interest in participation in that we have not officially announced on the podcast.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what this is, because it is part of what we're reading.
The Summer of Austen.
I'm putting the image on the screen right now.
I drew it. If you're wondering what the original image was, it was a watercolor portrait of Jane Austen done by her sister Cassandra. And
Awesome.
I just copied it in pencil. Mechanical pencil, because that's what I draw with. So I thought it would be nice to read all of Jane Austen's full novels, the 6 of them, and watch different adaptations of them during the summer. So I've made this sort of plan for myself. You don't have to follow along to it strictly. I just made it so that I would have a useful reference to like see how many chapters to read of each book for a day, and they're all different lengths.
Okay.
So I've written for June the 1st through the 18th to read Pride and Prejudice, June 19th through the 30th read Persuasion, and July 1st through 20th to read Emma, July 21st through the 31st to read Northanger Abbey, August 1st through 16th read Sense and Sensibility, and August 17th through 31st read Mansfield Park.
Okay. So you're calling this a Summer of Austen. So the hashtag is Summer of Austen.
If you want to post about it.
There is a thread in the Ravelry group that we are talking about Austen and talking about like some of the audiobooks, radio dramas, movies.
YouTube adaptions are my favorite.
Yes.
There is a YouTube adaptation of Little Women that I want to watch.
You posted a link
to the Jane Austen Society of North America that has like a really big section dedicated to different adaptations of Jane Austen's
Yeah, I
work.
really like that because like there was some that I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was an adaptation of this. I also wanted to...
Did you see the one about You've Got Mail?
Yes.
I was assuming that's the one.
I have linked in the show notes all 6 of the books. They're Kindle editions on the U.S. Amazon website, and they're all free, all 6 of them. So if you have a U.S. Kindle account, you can get all 6 books for free. I'm not sure. I did not check the UK.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they're all in...
Our library?
No.
Our cloud?
No, I want to say that they're public domain now.
Yes,
that's why they're all free.
Old.
So, and you were going to show us something else, Jane Austen.
Yes, I have mini skeins here. They're Jane Austen mini skeins. So I thought that while I was reading the novel they're related to, I thought I would make hexapuffs during the summer. So I only have Persuasion and Pride and Prejudice ones. These are from Canon Hand Dyes. And if you really love me and want to give me a present, I would love some of the full skeins from Canon Hand Dyes. They have Narnia ones too. Yeah. So this is Elizabeth Bennet. It's browns. This is Georgiana Darcy. It's pink. This is Caroline Bangley. Bangley. It's turquoise and green.
Kind of an olivey green.
And these are the Persuasion ones, which I haven't read.
I've read them all. It's just been a long time.
So this is Lady Russell, sort of a dark blue and grays. And this is Anne Elliot. It reminds me of ice cream.
It does. It reminds me of like
sherbet and chocolate.
Yes.
So
that's a really good idea.
yeah, I will show you the Canon Hand Dyes Etsy shop because it's beautiful.
I've looked at the Jane Austen ones, but I didn't know about the Narnia ones.
Yeah, and I have like ideas for other seasons, like an autumn of Tolkien, a winter of Bront, a spring of Lewis.
I was thinking a winter of Narnia.
Yes, but I personally identify spring more with Narnia than winter, because the spring part is so beautiful. That's true.
So if anybody wants to participate in a Summer of Austen, the thread is in our Ravelry group with all the details, and my foot is falling asleep, and there we go. We would love to have you join us because I'm going to read along too. I might listen to some of the radio adaptions instead of reading some of them. We will see. Apparently there is a BBC radio adaptation with Benedict Cumberbatch and David Tennant in it for which one?
Mansfield Park.
That I might have to get my hands on and listen to that instead of reading it.
I angered Jilly because that's the last one, the 17th through the 31st. She's like, the hard part is waiting for August to read it, to listen to it.
And Dammy is speaking of Jilly of the Knitting Broomstick podcast, Vegan Jilly, and currently right now for the month of May, she has a Jane Austen knit along going on. So I know it's already almost the middle of May, but if you have something small you would like to knit, you could do that. So check out her group. All right, are you reading anything else?
No, that was a really long reading.
It was.
And it was only my part.
So I am still reading nonfiction-wise, A Travelogue of the Interior, Finding Your Voice in God's Heart in the Psalms by Karen Dabajian. I think I am getting close to 70% through. I think I have 6 or 7 more chapters. So I'm hoping to be done with it in the next couple of weeks. And then some of what I'm reading fiction-wise, I read the entire Wicked Witches of the Midwest series by Amanda M. Lee. So there was Any Which Way You Can, Every Which Way But Wicked, Witching You Were Here, Witching on a Star, Something to Witch About, Witch Me Luck, Life's a Witch, and Charms and Witch Demeanors.
You made lots of typos in there.
I did. So these were all free as part of the Kindle Unlimited program that I have a membership to. They are uber snarky. There is some adultish content. I would probably be okay with you reading them. But, I mean, they're not like Outlander. But there is some. And it's about this family of witches, and they always seem to get into trouble and have to solve things. So one of them is dating an FBI agent, and they own a bed and breakfast, and it was so funny and snarky, and I love snarky. It's one of my favorite words, snarky. And so I really enjoyed the series, and I hope she writes more because I enjoyed it. And then I've started a new book, but I'm not to a point of knowing if it's something I want to talk about or not. Ooh. So, because sometimes I read stuff that's not worth talking about, so. All right, we should move on to television.
Yes. So, we finished watching season 5 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. We have yet to start season 6.
So we have a cliffhanger.
Yes, we got the cliffhanger. But season 6, you know what happens in season 6? 2 things. Did Zia and Warp get married? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And Vic Fontaine.
Well, and don't Kira and Odo get together in season 6 too?
Oh, I think that happens too. I think actually, isn't it Vic's first episode that they get together?
Possibly.
I want to say that that's right, but I don't know.
So, and then we're also watching
Season 4 of Star Trek Voyager.
Yes. Do you want to talk about the next one?
Oh yes, we finished watching season 2 of Daredevil. I don't want to wait another year for season 3.
That was some, like, seriously intense television. So we forgot to mention last week that Fisk appeared.
Yes, he just appeared. Out of nowhere.
From jail.
From gel?
Jail.
It sounded like you said Joe.
Yeah, from his hair gel.
He has no hair!
It's because he used the wrong kind of hair gel. And I heard rumors that they're thinking about doing a Punisher series.
I wouldn't really be interested.
I don't think I'd be interested. Yeah, gosh.
He needs to take a chill pill.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion on Frank Castle.
That's one of the things that I didn't like about Daredevil is is uber violent.
Yeah.
Yeah, uber violent. So not safe for children at all. I am watching. Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
Oh, the thing you were really excited about. Karen knows that Matt is Daredevil now. And when we start, she was like really excited about this.
I was.
Because that's how the season ended. But then when we start season 3 next year, she'll be like, okay, what happened last season?
Well, because we haven't watched in a while. But yes, I am so excited that he told Karen that he is Daredevil.
I want to draw Daredevil stuff. I need to find screen caps for it.
Oh, yes.
They're all so beautiful in that show. They're all beautiful. I love them.
All right, well, I am watching season 3 of Parenthood. I think I have 2 episodes left in the season, so I'm enjoying that. The Hubs and I finished watching series 3 of Shetland.
Did the sheep commit the murder?
No.
Oh.
But there was some very intense stuff. And so the Hubs and I needed something new to watch, and so now we are watching series 1 of The Night Manager. Holy crap. With... Now I can't think names. From House.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie and Tom...
I'm trying to see if you can think of it. It begins with an H.
I was thinking it's something with an H, but I can't think what it is.
It ends with a stun.
Oh, Hiddleston. Tom
Ha.
Hiddleston. And the lady from Broadchurch.
Olivia Colman.
And the guy from Outlander. The one that plays Frank and Blackjack Randall. I don't know what his name is.
Alistair Petrie?
No, that's not him.
Oh. Which one? Who does he play in the show?
He, in Night Manager,
Yeah.
he works with one of the spy organizations. But I don't know what his name is.
You'll have to point him out to me.
I could, like, pull it up on my phone while I'm talking about this. Yeah, his character in Outlander, he plays two different characters that, like, so Frank is a descendant of Blackjack. And
But Frank is very different from Blackjack,
yes,
I'm assuming.
Frank is like, is okay. Blackjack is horrific.
He's okay.
He has some issues sometimes, but sometimes.
What kind of issues?
Probably the same issues probably anybody would have when their wife disappears for 3 years and then comes back pregnant with another man's baby.
Oh my.
But Blackjack...
He's okay.
Blackjack is horrific. Where is he? Oh, and David Harewood from Supergirl is in it. Tobias Menzies.
That picture is too small. I don't know if I've seen him in the show.
That's him.
Oh.
That's him playing Blackjack. He's evil. He is very, very evil.
An evil British guy?
He is. He is from... Let's see, where is he from? He was born...
British land.
He was born in London. And let me see, who else is in it? Tom Hollander is in it. Michael Nardone. Elizabeth Debicki. Alistair Petrie, you said him.
I don't know why I remember that name.
I don't know, he was in something. I looked it up the other day, but I can't remember what he was in. Oh, he was in Cloud Atlas. He was in Sherlock.
Oh, yeah. Commander Sholto. I can't speak.
He's been in a lot of stuff. A lot of UK stuff.
Okay, let's not go through the whole IMDb cast list on air.
So anyway, The Night Manager. So it is like a spy thing. And I'm really enjoying it. And then you and I are watching season 2 of How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah.
And they are trying to get away with a lot of murders, yo.
Yes.
You talk about the next one.
Okay, we're watching season 8 of Castle. You wrote very excited notes.
Kaylee!
Jewel State was in this episode.
From Firefly. She was a murderer.
Mm-hmm.
She was bad. And Ryan dancing like a flower. And his daughter was so sweet. Her little voice singing and she was dancing like a flower. It was so cute. Yeah. What is today, the date?
11th.
We haven't watched this week's episode, and then next week is the finale.
Season finale.
Yes. But we've already talked about the changes that are coming in season 9. I think it'll be the last season, is my guess. The hubs and I watched the season 7 finale of NCIS LA, and Sam's son's school was taken over by terrorists, and they had to save him and his classmates. You're next.
I didn't write more notes for this. Dang it. Okay, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3. The finale is next week.
Mm-hmm.
So, there were Kree aliens. Yes.
That was intense.
Mm-hmm. And that was mainly it. Kree aliens.
Yep. We're watching season 13 of NCIS.
That's so many. That's like almost all of my life.
The season finale is next week. So some of the references, this was a to be continued episode. There was Sherlock. There was sheep. There was hashtag living rocks. Not living rocks, but living rocks. Hashtag. Because Abby was affirming people because she didn't want to wait until they died and then not hear it. So she was affirming them and then doing hashtag living rocks. Fornell was shot. Is he dead? I think he might be. to be continued.
They always kill, like, someone before the season finale.
I'm glad they didn't kill Dinozo.
Well,
this is
there's
his last
still
season.
time.
And then the hubs and I are watching season 2 of NCIS New Orleans. This was about the restaurant. There was a restaurant, and the Navy lady who was the daughter of the restaurant owner was killed in an explosion. It was bad. The season finale of that is next week. Person of Interest has returned to the television waves.
Oh.
I believe this is the final season. They've changed it. So this is season 5. So Samaritan is out to get them, and they're trying to save the machine. The battery's draining, so that they now are using like 300 game consoles to let the machine have enough space to decompress.
Where did they get all those game consoles?
They stole them from a terrorist organization who was based in a recycling plant. As one does.
Just steal 300 game consoles.
Yes.
Just do it.
I wrote a lot of notes about the next show because, yes, Supernatural season 11. We've still got a few episodes left because it doesn't end until the end of May. God/Chuck returned. He's writing his autobiography, but there were no revelations. Metatron convinced God not to give up on humanity. He decides to save them from Amara's darkness that was taking over the world. Dean's amulet that was supposed to shine when God is near started lighting up again. And God/Dean/Sam have some things to talk about.
And God can sing and play the guitar.
Yes. He didn't learn. He just gave himself the ability.
That's cheating.
Yes.
Wish I could give myself the ability to know French and remember all the things I need to know for math and biology and chemistry.
And I would like to know how to play the guitar.
But we don't have a guitar.
No. Do you want to talk about the next one?
Sure. Criminal Minds, the season 11 finale. So Hotch was framed.
But they saved him.
But they saved him. But 13 serial killers escaped from prison.
Yes.
Oh no.
And then we're watching season 1 of Criminal Minds Beyond Borders.
I don't know where that came from.
I wonder if it was like
just
on one of
there.
the mini skeins. Because it looks like the pink one.
No, it's tightly bound.
I have no idea where that came from.
Hmm.
Criminal Minds Beyond Borders season 1. It doesn't end until the end of May. This episode was about first love, and it had Penny from Lost in it. Big Bang Theory season 9. So this week is the finale. And this episode was about Leonard's mom and how upset she was that Leonard and Penny did not invite her to the wedding in Vegas. And I think they're going to like renew their vows while she's there, so she can bear witness to this, because she was really hurt. We're watching season 3 of The Blacklist, which ends, would that be next week? Yes, next week. And they're trying to find out who was responsible for killing Lizzie. I still don't think she's dead. Watch, it'll probably be like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Because I think they wrote it this way because she's really pregnant in real life. And so I think she needed time off to have the baby. Because she's not, I mean, like, they haven't, like, released her from the show. She's still on contract. We're watching season 11 of Bones. It doesn't end until July. So we have a lot of time. Hodgins, so this was all about relationships. Hodgins and Angela were having major issues. He, like, tried to leave. Yeah, but I think they have maybe made it over the big hill, and now things are going to be a little more smooth. That's my hope. And Aubrey and Jessica had their first kiss, and she almost died. She almost got hit by a car, and he pulled her out of the way, and they kissed, and it was lovely.
Jessica, who is Jane Bennett from the Lizzie Bennett Diaries.
That is correct. Then I am watching Outlander season 2, not safe for children. Dammy does not watch, does not read. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. I feel like I should like write this up and just put it on the screen every time. So Jack Randall is back. They had thought he was dead, and then...
Is that Blackjack?
Mm-hmm. He's the evil one. Because they're in France now.
Oh.
And, so they thought that he was dead. But then Claire found out he was alive and told Murtaugh. And then they didn't...
Who?
Murtaugh. That's his friend. That's Jamie's friend.
Oh.
They're like BFFs.
Oh.
And he was like, oh, we shouldn't tell him. No, we should tell him. And then she didn't tell him. And then she finally told him. And he did not react the way she thought he would. He was very excited because now he can kill him himself. And so Jamie challenged Blackjack to a duel.
Oh, those things.
But Claire gets him to agree to spare Jack's life for 1 year, exactly 1 year. That was the agreement. In order that Frank is saved. Because according to the genealogy, I know what happens from the books, but according to the genealogy, Blackjack is a direct descendant of Frank Randall, which is who Claire was married to before she got sent back.
the other way around.
Oh, what did I say?
Blackjack is Frank's descendant?
Oh, no. Frank is Blackjack's descendant in the family tree, the genealogy. And Frank is who Claire was married to before she got sent back in time.
Does Jamie know about Frank?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. And so he agreed a life because she had saved his life. So a life for a life. So. Your turn. I need some water before I talk about the other one.
Okay, Elementary, the season 4 finale. So Moreland, Sherlock's dad, is now the head of Moriarty's organization, and he says it's to take it down from the inside. But I'm kind of worried that he's not gonna do that.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And...
because we all know what happened to King Denethor.
Yes.
Corrupted by power, and then got set on fire and ran off a balcony.
And Sherlock tried to give Joan a flat that his dad had left him.
Yes.
But now they've decided to sell it instead so that she and Sherlock will stay the way they are.
Bros.
All right, I must tell you about this week's episode of season 5 of Once Upon a Time.
Tell me.
So that, like, the Hubs, because I'm watching this because the Hubs likes it. Because I feel like it's like Jump the Shark. But now the Hubs is starting to feel that way. And he was like, well, we can stop watching it. I said, well, I think there might be a revolt on the podcast if I don't, like, talk about it. Because it makes me very animated, emotional to tell you about these things. Because I think it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So would there be a revolt if we stopped watching this and I don't talk about it anymore?
Tell us.
You tell us. But in this week's episode, Hades killed King Arthur of Camelot.
But wasn't King Arthur evil?
Yes. But Arthur and Hook worked together in the underworld to give Emma the info that she needed about Hades to bring him down.
Just really bring him down.
Hades then destroyed Robin so that he no longer exists anywhere. Like, he doesn't go to the underworld or to heaven or hell. He just no longer exists with this crystal that he stole from Zeus. And then Zelena did the same thing to Hades. She thought he was in love with her, but he was using her. And then Hook was able to move on to heaven because he had completed his... Arthur decides to stay in the underworld to heal it because it was prophesied that he was to heal a kingdom and he thought it was Camelot, but really it's the underworld. But then Hook goes to heaven, like, except for he ends up going to where Zeus is. And Zeus, in gratitude for Hook's part in destroying Hades,
His brother,
Zeus's brother, he sends Hook back to Storybrooke where he belongs. And at Robin's funeral, Zelena, who is the mother of Hook's daughter.
No.
Yes. Robin's daughter, sorry. Zelina, who is the mother of Robin's daughter, and Regina, who is in love with Robin, decide to name Robin's daughter after him. So her name is now Robin, because they had not named the baby prior to this, and the baby was like 37 years old. No, not really, but the baby had been around for a while with no name.
Poor baby.
Poor baby. And thusly, that is Once Upon a Time for this week. It ends next week.
Yeah, so what stuff is going to happen in the season finale?
Something that I don't remember. Oh, Rumple is like gone off the deep end again. Again. And thusly, this is television for this week. I think this segment is like 37 hours long.
No, 29 minutes. If we stop it right now, it won't be 30.
And so let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our March, April, May sheepy spring cow.
Yes, so we're nearing the end. What is today? The 11th. So you have 20 days left? Is there 31 in May?
I think.
Yes, there is. Oh, let me look right here. Yes, there is. So you have just under 3 weeks to go. So this cow started on March the 1st and it runs through the 31st of May. It's for any project, unit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to spring. I think they know by now, especially since how long this episode is. We're not going to talk about that. No whips are allowed. You have to start it March 1st or later and finish it by the 31st of May. Feel free to poly dip in other cows as long as it fits the rules. We have some lovely prizes that are on the screen right now, donated by lovely sponsors, and we thank them very much. If you would like all the details about the prizes, you can go to the show notes.
GeekyGirlsKnit.com.
Or watch the first episode of the month where we talk about the prizes in detail. Every project you finish and post in the FO thread counts as one entry for the giveaways. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry to participate. You have to post your picture in the FO thread. And if you want to use the hashtag, it's hashtag GGKSSK16. You will lock the thread the morning of June the 1st, because I will be out of town on holiday, on retreat actually. And we'll draw winners on the next podcast. After that, you'll have 30 days to claim your prize if you're a winner. We have a chatter thread. And now, Dammy, why don't you give us the list of lovely people who finished projects this week?
Okay. Boga times 3, Puppy's Mom 77 times 2, Chiefy CJ Bullion, Crazy Knitting Fool times 5, Crouching Cheese times 2, DG White, Ellie 15, Erica Eccles, Faithful Knitter, I Knit Socks 2 times 3, Kana Soup, Knit 1 Brew 2, Knit Crazy Kate, Cosmic times 9, KY Spinner, Lil Angel SG2 times 7, Maria Wilhelmina times 7, Muzzer Z times 7, Natalie Kathleen, Phoenix Fire, Rainbow Ange, and Yarny Mom times 3.
Great job, everybody. So get those projects done, get them posted, and also start thinking ahead to the summertime cow, which we will talk about in more detail towards the end of the month. All right, we have another cow to talk about, so let's move on.
And now we're talking about our 52 weeks of charity cow.
So this runs the calendar year of 2016. It's for any project, unit, crochet, or weave that you're donating to charity. To be eligible for prizes, you have to finish 52 items over the course of the year. It does not have to be one a week, but just a total of 52. What you need to do is there's an FO thread in the group. You need to post as one post. All 52 items of yours are going to go in the one post. You'll just edit it each time. There is an example, the second post in that thread. No whips are allowed. You have to start it January 1st or later. You can donate your FOs to any charity you choose. If you want to send them to us, we will make a donation to Knit for Peace, and preemie hats will be sent to Preemies UK. You must be a member of the Ravelry group to participate. The hashtag is GGK52WOCCal16. We'll lock the thread the morning of January the 1st, 2017, and winners will be drawn on the next podcast. You'll have 30 days to claim your prize. There is a chatter thread. In order to be eligible for a prize, you have to finish 52 items or more. And I was just thinking about this the other day. We have some people that are getting close to 52. So how do you feel about if they want to do a second 52, they can start a second post and do another 52 items?
Sure.
I think that's a good idea. So you can do 52, or if you're going to do 104, do that as 52 and 52, do two separate posts so that we know how many. Prizes. I have donated 1 skein of West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply in the Holly Berry colorway. For every 7 people who complete 52 items, I will add another skein of West Yorkshire Spinner's yarn. And there's some lovely new ones in their cocktail range. We also have prizes donated by Catherine, who is Tia and Cat. We have a Bernay Coral Pom-Pom and a Lion Brand Black Cat Pom-Pom. And then Mary, who is Jammin' to Knit, has donated 3 single patterns from her Ravelry store. So thank you so much to our sponsors. And, I was going to say, I added up how many projects have been finished so far. 328 items for charity. Ooh. That is awesome. So great job, y'all. Keep working on those items. And, yep, let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask a Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
So this week's question is from one person, but there's 3 separate sets of questions. So why don't you tell us who asked the questions?
Okay, the questions come from Michelle, who is Zin Knits 130 from Illinois.
All right, so let me ask this first question. She says, I noticed all the stash yarn on the shelf. Is this Cece's stash, or do we share? Does Dammy have her own stash?
Okay. This is all hers.
And that's my entire stash other than Preemie Hat yarn, which is in a bag over by my chair in the sitting room. And on top of the shelf that you can't see is leftovers that I'm using in my zigzag blanket.
Yes.
So what about your stash? Because you do have your own. We don't share.
Yes, I do have my own. It's mostly sock yarn skeins and lots of sock yarn leftovers to do hexapuffs with.
And you have like 2 kind of cube boxes that you have everything stored in.
Yeah.
Yes. So we do not share stash usually. Occasionally we'll share like leftovers or whatever. Like when I finish a zigzag, if there's still some leftovers, I give it to you for hexapuffs or whatever. Things like that. Okay, why don't you ask the second question?
How did you come up with the title In Which, for example, In Which I Knit Every Day, which I am adorable?
The podcast episodes are entitled In Which ... because of Winnie the Pooh. The chapters in the Winnie the Pooh book start with In Which ... I'm quite obsessed with Winnie the Pooh. Did I tell you I have a new t-shirt on the way that is Winnie the Pooh, the map? This is total side note, but I've lost so much weight on Whole30 that the t-shirts that I have now are like swallowing me. Like they're like tense. I can like fold the fabric over quite a lot, which is a positive thing. So I've ordered some new t-shirts. So you probably will see some new t-shirts on me in the next few weeks. But one of them I ordered is the Winnie the Pooh map because I love Winnie the Pooh a lot. So that is where the In Which came from. All right, are you ready for our special guest?
I don't know.
Are y'all ready for our special guest? Because we have one more set of questions from Michelle. All right, here comes the special guest. And now we have a special guest on the podcast. Who are you?
I think I go by the hubs on this, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Yes. My name's actually Russell, or Russ, or Hey You. I'll pretty much answer to any of it.
Or Daddy.
Or Daddy, yeah.
But it gets very confusing when Dammy tries to talk about you, and she's like, I can't say the hubs because he's not the hubs, but that's what I call you.
Well, I hope other people aren't calling me the hubs besides you.
Actually, there are some people that do call you the hubs. See, like the question for the hubs.
That sort of makes me uncomfortable.
Well, it's because I don't say your name very often. I just call you the hubs.
I do have a name. I've had a name since I was born. It's Russell.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready for your 3 questions? This is the third part of the 3 questions, but the third part has 3 questions.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay. Why a PhD program?
Why a PhD program? Okay. Well, I think first I'd like to say thanks for the questions and for including me.
Her name's Michelle that asked you.
Thank you, Michelle. I do feel included and I feel affirmed. So I do appreciate that. And thanks for these awesome questions. I think there's a lot of reasons why to do a PhD for me, but I think I'd like to mention 3 in particular. The first is that about 3 or 4 years ago, we had fallen through just about every crack there is in the healthcare system in the United States, and so we couldn't get any doctors or medications for Cece's fibromyalgia. And pursuing a PhD here in Scotland enabled us to get access to medical care that we couldn't get anywhere else. So it really seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
It still was the right thing to do. It wasn't just the right thing at the time.
Well, that's not what okay. You're right. I'm sorry if I misspoke.
It's still the right.
Oh, yes, definitely the right thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I didn't mean to say otherwise.
Okay.
Okay. Second, there was a very dear man in my life named Donnie York, who I met when I was about 14, and he became like a father to me. And he was the one who helped me discern my own call to ministry. He was a Baptist pastor, and almost every time I was with him, he would give me a hug, and he would say that he was proud of me, even if I hadn't done anything, even if I hadn't done anything that day, he would still say that he was proud of me. And so he would also refer to me occasionally as Dr. Almon. And so I think in a lot of respects, I'm doing a PhD because Donnie believed in me. And one of the things that I wish is that he died when I was still in seminary, and I wish that he could be at my graduation so that whenever I graduate, I could hear him say that he's proud of me again.
He's still proud of you.
And third, for the third reason, I think you need to know that I'm one of the least likely people to ever do a PhD, at least in my own view. I had to take remedial reading and speech courses in elementary school, and as Cece reminds me sometimes, that my grades in college were pretty much horrible until we got together. So I mean, this is all her doing. So yeah, and so. But however, over the years, Donnie and others in churches would sometimes ask me when I was going to do a PhD, and sometimes they would just point blank tell me that I should do a PhD, and why haven't I done one yet? Why aren't you in a PhD program? And so it sort of became obvious that God was speaking to me through these people, but it probably has taken us a lot longer to get to this point than we thought it would.
Yeah.
So we took the scenic route.
Yeah, we are probably one of the oldest. You're probably one of the oldest students compared to.
Yeah, I'm not the oldest.
You're not the oldest, but you're in that upper.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Even though we're not old at all.
No, we're not old.
No. You just turned 42.
No.
Yeah, we've already put that picture. Actually,
meaning of life in the universe.
Yeah. So we're recording this segment with the hubs first before we record the rest of the podcast. So when they watch this, they'll have seen you holding your Yoda cake. But right now, when we're recording it, we haven't done that yet.
Okay.
We do this whole time travel thing.
It's like time travel.
Yeah,
yes.
it is.
Okay.
Okay, you ready for the second question?
Sure.
Dammy, do you want to ask the second question?
Sure. What will you accomplish with your PhD? Or what dreams do you have?
Oh, okay. This is a very tricky question to ask any PhD candidate right now because pretty much in every field imaginable, the job market really stinks.
Yeah.
So there's always a lot of anxiety and such at conferences and such. As a matter of fact, I was just at a conference and another PhD candidate joked with the rest of us at the table that she started telling people whenever they ask her questions like this that she dreams of actually getting a paying job one day. And all the rest of us at the table like, yeah, that's what we dream too. So I think that's definitely part of it. I would like to teach theology at a college or a seminary. But in addition to that, I think another thing that I would like to do is, having been a pastor and a chaplain as well, that I sort of see myself as a theologian with a pastor's heart. And so I would like to end up someplace where I can play a role in helping to reimagine theological education in a way that connects it more organically with local churches.
Okay. And Dammy and my dream is we're not leaving the UK, so you have to find a job here.
We will definitely do our best on that.
Yes?
Well, I am looking at colleges in the States.
Oh, no, we're not. We know. La 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 la.
They're very pretty states.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Maryland is very pretty.
Okay, so we have one more question for you.
Okay.
Michelle told us that the department she was in during college had academic discourse and arguing. Do you have this problem?
Do you get into like smackdowns with other theologians?
It's the theologian smackdown.
Theologian smackdown.
In this corner, Russell.
Okay.
No, I think it would be more fun if it was like Hamilton and they have a rap battle.
Oh dear. No.
It's a rap battle smackdown.
In this corner, Russell with Stanley Grince's commentary on the New Testament.
I'm glad you're not in charge of the theological conferences. Wow.
I would go to those conferences.
Okay. Arguing and such. Yeah, I know that this happens some places, and I was warned about that possibility before I started my PhD program here at the University of Edinburgh. But having been a part of the informal and the formal academic setting here for the past couple years, I would say that I've witnessed some exchanges that could probably be described as intense. But I wouldn't necessarily say that they were, I wouldn't describe them as arguing.
Was it a smackdown?
No, not really. Not really a smackdown. No. If anything, what I've seen here...
I want to see a theological smackdown.
Oh, well...
You and Jeremy should do that.
Oh, yeah. That would be
When we meet for his birthday. It can be...
Oh,
We'll film it and put it on the Instagram.
okay.
In 15
You have to
second.
let him win, though, because it's his birthday.
In 15-second increments.
Okay.
It'd be like, okay, hold on, we got to do the next part.
Okay. Can I say something serious now?
Yes, please
Okay.
do.
I would say that my experience here has shown me that it's actually possible to talk about big, important, and even contentious subjects in a way that still recognizes the emotion involved, but that's at the same time reasoned and respectful. So my experience here has been pretty positive.
That's good. Yeah. He doesn't film with us very often, so he has no idea that we kind of go crazy and like ramble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm usually not here during the days that you
No.
record.
So your experience has been very positive. You shed your experience of all its electrons. I'm sorry, I'm studying for the SAT in chemistry.
Oh dear.
Do you have anything else you would like to tell the lovely viewers of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast?
I wasn't expecting this question.
I know, this is like...
Haha, you have to improvise like we do every week.
Do I have anything else I'd like to say?
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
They're watching too, most
Oh.
of them. Some of them just listen.
Thank you for watching and listening.
Unless you're Jasmine and Genevieve, then you're probably listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, thank you to Michelle for all of these questions. There was a lot of them. I think this is probably the longest As a Geeky Girls segment that we've recorded. But that's okay.
Is that just because I'm long-winded?
No, it's because there was 3 parts to the
Oh.
questions. And we just decided to do them all at once.
Okay.
Dammy, if somebody has a question for us, or the Hups, or, any the combination of the three of us, what should they do?
You should go to the Ask the Geeky Girls segment in our Ravelry group and
Thread,
post it.
not the segment.
Post.
Try that one more time.
You should go to the Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post.
Yes,
And then watch the segment.
That's right. The hubs is distracting you from your duties of.
He's in my spot.
Oh.
All right, I think that we are ready for the next segment. We made it. This episode is huge. I am predicting, since the TV and book segment was half an hour.
Yeah. I was really enthusiastic by my books.
Yes. Well, it'll be shorter now every week because we've kind of given all the details and everything.
Yeah.
Plus, we had our special guest and lots of other things that we were discussing. So, do we have any announcements other than our normal ones?
I don't think so.
We're still on track. Next week's a normal episode. At the end of the month, we'll have a delayed episode because I'll be out of town. But okay, let us tell you about our regular announcements. We want to say a humongous thank you to our Patreon sponsors. Humongous. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for your support of the podcast. If you don't know, Patreon is a website where you can support your favorite creative people, podcasters, artists, etc. And right now we are putting all of the money that we are receiving from our Patreon sponsors into a savings account so that the interest also builds up on it. Because if Dammy does end up attending school, university,
college, whatever it is,
separate, in a different location than the hubs and I are at, we will need some updated technology in order to make the podcast be able to continue, because we will have to do kind of a video conference call style. So we are putting all that money right now into a savings account until there's enough to purchase those upgraded technology items. Yes. And our Patreon sponsors get rewards based on the level they donate at. And I sent out April's rewards this week because it's always a month delayed. So like if you signed up now, the rewards wouldn't be until in June. So if you are interested in learning more about Patreon, you can go to
patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
That's right. We are also, if you would like to make just like a one-time donation to the podcast, you can go to our website,
geekygirlsknit.com.
and there's a PayPal button, donate button in the top right. We are also Amazon.com and .co.uk affiliates. If you go to our website first,
geekygirlsknit.com,
and click on one of the banners to go to the appropriate website, Amazon website, and then whatever you purchase, Amazon gives us a little money back based on that. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and we don't know who is buying what things. We just have a list of, all these are all the things that were ordered this month. And that money goes directly to shipping out prizes because postage is expensive. So thank you to those of you who are doing that. All right, Dammy, why don't you tell them where to find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we're online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
That's right. And with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Happy knitting. Hope the weather is as beautiful where you are as it is here in Edinburgh. It is gorgeous. We've had windows open. I've been able to go outside with just a short sleeve t-shirt on. I had a sweater. I had a cardigan with me because as the sun goes down, obviously it gets cooler, but it's been lovely. So we need to record outside again. Maybe we can see about that next week.
Yep.
All right. Well, happy knitting, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
And now, the Geeky Girls Knit podcast proudly presents Chapter 1 of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen.
Not the whole thing.
a portion of Chapter 1 of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, narrated for you by Dami Almon.
It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. However little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entering a neighborhood, this truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered the rightful property of some one or other of their daughters. "My dear Mr. Bennet," said his lady to him one day, "have you heard Netherfield Park is let at last?" Mr. Bennet replied that he had not. "But it is," returned she, "for Mrs. Long has just been there, and she told me all about it." Mr. Bennet made no answer. "Do you not want to know who has taken it?" cried his wife impatiently. "You want to tell me, and I have no objection to hearing it." This was invitation enough. "Why, my dear, you must know Mrs. Long says that Netherfield is taken by a young man of large fortune from the north of England, that he came down on Monday in a chaise and four to see the place, and was so much delighted with it that he agreed with Mr. Morris immediately, that he is to take possession before Michaelmas, and some of his servants are to be in the house by the end of next week." "What is his name?" "Bingley." "Is he married or single?" "Oh, single, my dear, to be sure. A single man of large fortune, 4 or 5,000 a year. What a fine thing for our girls!" "How so? How can it affect them?" "My dear Mr. Bennet," replied his wife, "how can you be so tiresome? You must know that I am thinking of his marrying one of them." "Is that his design in settling here?" "Design? Nonsense! How can you talk so? But it is very likely that he may fall in love with one of them, and therefore you must visit him as soon as he comes." "I see no occasion for that. You and the girls may go, or you may send them by themselves, which perhaps will be still better, for you are as handsome as any of them. Mr. Bingley may like you the best of the party." "My dear, you flatter me. I certainly have had my share of beauty, but I do not pretend to be anything extraordinary now. When a woman has 5 grown-up daughters, she ought to give over thinking of her own beauty. In such cases a woman has not often much beauty to think of. But, my dear, you must indeed go and see Mr. Bingley when he comes into the neighborhood. It is more than I engage for, I assure you. But consider your daughters. Only think what an establishment it would be for one of them. Sir William and Lady Lucas are determined to go merely on that account, for in general, you know, they visit no newcomers. Indeed, you must go, for it will be impossible for us to visit him if you do not. You are over-scrupulous, surely. I dare say Mr. Bingley will be very glad to see you, and I will send a few lines by you to assure him of my hearty consent to his marrying whichever he chooses of the girls, though I must throw in a good word for my little Lizzie. I desire you will do no such thing. Lizzie is not a bit better than the others, and I am sure she is not half so handsome as Jane, nor half so good-humoured as Lydia, but you are always giving her the preference. They have none of them much to recommend them, replied he. They are all silly and ignorant like other girls, but Lizzie has something more of quickness than her sisters. Mr. Bennet, how can you abuse your own children in such a way? You take delight in vexing me. You have no compassion for my poor nerves. You mistake me, my dear. I have high respect for your nerves. They are my old friends. I have heard you mention them with consideration these last 20 years at least. Ah, you do not know what I suffer. But I hope you will get over it, and live to see many young men of 4,000 a year come into the neighborhood. It will be no use to us if 20 should come, since you will not visit them. Depend upon it, my dear, that when there are 20 I will visit them all. Mr. Bennet was so odd a mixture of quick parts, sarcastic humour, reserve, and caprice that the experience of 23 years had been insufficient to make his wife understand his character. Her mind was less difficult to develop. She was a woman of mean understanding, little information, and uncertain temper. When she was discontented, she fancied herself nervous. The business of her life was to get her daughters married. Its solace was visiting and news. Okay, that was actually all of chapter 1 because I forgot how short it was.
And thus,
Ta-da!
that was chapter 1 of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, narrated by Dami Almon.
Yeah, I forgot how short the chapters in Pride and Prejudice are. They're only a few paragraphs each.
Come back next week for another chapter.
No.
Probably not.
No.
But, all right.